So today the notes are going to be on writing equations given a table or a graph. So in order to write the equation of an exponential function from a table, you must determine the base, b, by looking for the common ratio. The y-intercept of the graph is going to be the a term. So first, let's figure out the a. Remember, the a is the y-intercept. So your y-intercept is going to be right here, 0, 3. So 3 is your a. Next, we have to figure out your b. So the b is the common ratio. So looking at each of these, so 3 to 6, 6 to 12. So it's called a ratio because we're going to be multiplying. So how do I go from 3 to 6? I have to multiply by 2. 6 to 12, I multiply by 2 as well. If you ever get stuck on finding the base, you're going to take your second and divide by the first. So in this case, the second is 1.5. The first is 0.75. So I know they're ugly numbers, but that's why we have a calculator. So I'm going to do 1.5 divided by 0.75, and I get 2, which is exactly what we found down here. That equals 2. So our base, our b for this one is going to be the number 2. Then if you remember from yesterday, it said the parent function is always y equals a times b to the x. So in this case, this equation is me y equals, our a is 3, put my b, my base in parentheses, and put my little x up top. Okay, let's try the next one. So my a is 6. My b is the ratio. So how do I go from 6 to 3? Well, I'm going to take my second 3 divided by 6, the first, and that gives me a 1/2. And we can try it. Do 3 times 1/2 in your calculator. So 3 times 1/2 is going to give me 3 over 2, which if I switch that to a decimal is 1.5, which is exactly what we have for the next one. So my final equations me a equals, or y equals a, which is 6, 1/2 to the x. Okay, let's go ahead and go down to number 3. So number 3, my y-intercept is 2. B is my ratio. So again, take your second and divide by the first. So 1.2 divided by 2. 1.2 divided by 2 gives me 0.6. When we're doing these though, we really like fractions. So I have 0.6 on my calculator, and you're going to press the little double arrow button to make it a fraction. So 3 over 5 is what we're actually going to use. So y equals 2, 3 over 5 to the x. Okay, you guys go ahead and try the fourth one. Pause this video, find A, B, and then write the equation. Okay, so for number 4, your A is down here, it's 5. Your B, let's see, to go from 15 to 3, I think I divide by 3. But for all of these, you have to multiply. So let's see. So I have to do the second divided by the first. So in this case, we'll just use 5 because that's what I'm looking at. So 5 divided by 15 because those are the two numbers I'm looking at. So 5 divided by 15 is 0.33333. Again, we want a fraction, so hit your double arrow. So 1/3. So divide by 3 is the same thing as 1 over 3. So just be careful when you're doing these because you're always multiplying. So y equals 5, 1/3 to the x. Okay, so next it's given a graph. So it says, in order to write an equation of an exponential function from a graph, you have to create a table of values from the graph. So first we're going to create a table of values. Then determine the base, just like we did above, and the y-intercept is the a term. So in order to do this, you have to find nice points. So in this case, like right here, that's not on a crossing, that's not on a crossing, but that one is, so that's a nice point. That's a nice point, that's a nice point, and we'll say that's a nice point. So then you have to make your table of values. So starting on the left, so my x is 0, my y is 1. Then I moved over 1, my x is 1, and I went up 2, 3, and I went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, and I went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So from here, I can then figure out my a. My a is 1. Remember, it's always your y-intercept. And my b is the pattern. So to go from 2 to 4, 4 to 8, they're multiplying by 2 every time. So remember, these are all about multiplying. So my base is 2. So y equals 1, 2 to the x. Okay, let's try the next one. So I have, let's see, that's a nice point. That's a nice point. Nice point. Nice point. Oh, look, we even have one up top we can use. Remember, you're always creating your table from left to right. So in this case, to get to this point, I had to go left 2, so negative 2, and up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Then for the next point, I went to the left 1, and I went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I'm at 0, and I'm up 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, I'm at 2, and 2, I'm at 1. So all of these numbers are going down, 16 to 8, 8 to 4, 4 to 2, 2 to 1. So how do I go from 8 to 4, let's say? 4 to 2, 2 to 1. So you're dividing by 2, but remember, you cannot divide here. So dividing by 2 is the same thing as multiplying by 1/2. But if you're not sure, use your little formula we have. Take your second, whatever your second one is. So in this case, we'll use 8 and 16. So 8 divided by 16 is 1/2. So my base is 1/2. My y-intercept, my a value is 4. So my final answer is y equals 4 times 1/2 to the x. I want you guys to try number 7. Remember, you need your A and you need your B. So first you have to make a table. So pause this video, find all the nice points, and make a table. After you've made the table, unpause the video so you can check your work. And then once your table's correct, go ahead and write your equation. Find your ratio and write your equation. Okay, so your table should have been 0, 2, 1, 3, 4, 10. So if you have that as your table, go ahead and find your ratio and write the equation. Okay, so your ratio, second divided by first, is 3 divided by 2, is just 3 over 2. Doesn't simplify any. And then my A is 2. So your final answer should be y equals 2 times 3 over 2 to the x. Okay, I want you guys to try 8, 9, and 10 on your own, and then check your answers on the answer key. Let's go down to below. It says, which ordered pair is a solution set of y to the 3 to the x? So we're going to need to plug each of those in. So you're plugging them in. So for the first one, so if I'm going to test 0, 0, that's 0 equals 3 to the 0. Well, if I put 3 to the 0 in my calculator, you actually get 0 equals 1. So the first one does not work. Okay, let's try the next one. 3, 1. Remember x comma y. So 1 equals 3 to the third power. That's definitely not right. Okay, let's try 9 comma 2, x comma y. So 2 equals 3 to the 9. That's definitely not right. 3 to the 9 is a huge number. Okay, let's try the last one. 4 comma 81, x, y. 81 equals 3 to the fourth power. Let's use our calculator. 3 to the fourth is 81. So we get 81 on the left and 81 on the right. So the last one's our answer. So go ahead and plug in for the next one and see which one you find. Okay, when you work on number 12 by yourself, you should find 0, 0 does not work. 225 does not work because that ends up being 25 equals 20. And then you should find that 3 comma 40 does work because that's 5 times 2 cubed. So when you put 5 times 2 cubed in your calculator, you get a 40. So you get 40 equals 40, so that's a check, that works.